Hello there, peoples! And I was just working on continuing to analyze the pilots that came in that Hot Shots and Aces pack, or whatever the heck it's called. But then FFG has to go and release a preview for Major Vonreg's tie, and I'm already behind on several videos. And well, I'm behind on one video, and then I gotta get ready for the points update that's coming in a couple of days, and then possibly get ready for a Transformers meta shift in a couple of days. So it's going to be a busy couple weeks for me, but I'll try to see if I can get everything out, but we'll see what happens. So we have the first order tie interceptor to look at, Major Vonreg's tie BA interceptor, whatever the hell you want to call it. So let's just dive straight into it. I've seen two of the cards from the pack, maybe three if you count Magpulse Warheads, but let's see what we've got here. So I saw this on I saw the post on Facebook, and I'm like, okay, let's take a look. So starting off, we have the first order Provocateur, just the generic PS3. The ship in general, 3-die primary, 3 agility, 2 hull, 2 shields, which is interesting considering the Interceptor from the Empire had 3 hull. Then again, it had no shield, so it kind of balances it out. It makes this thing an A-wing, essentially. Focus evade, target lock, barrel roll boost. Not sure if the A-wing has that same action bar, but I'll probably throw something up on screen showing whether it does or not. As for the ability here, fine-tune thrusters after you fully execute a maneuver. If you are not depleted or strained, you may gain 1 deplete or strain token to perform a target lock or barrel roll action. Now, haven't gotten far enough in the article to figure out what the deplete token does, but again, I think it's like the opposite of the strain token, where you have -1 primary attack die, just like strain gives you -1 agility. So at least I think that's how it's going to work out. But in terms of the ability in general, I mean, if you're going to be barrel rolling it out of range anyways, the deplete token isn't that bad. If you're going to be able to get a kill on somebody and you won't be taking too much return fire, the strain token isn't the worst thing in the world. It really just depends on like the situation at hand, and having that option to really benefit whatever situation you are in is going to be key to making this ability work, but I think it's going to be an easy one to work with. So like the ability, but we'll see how things pan out. Because again, like a lot of things in this game, it's going to come down to the cost, and if this is at least somewhat reasonably priced, which I'm going to be guessing based on Interceptor quantities, is going to be in the mid-30s, assuming I'm getting the Interceptor point values right when it comes to remembering them. But if this thing's around the mid-30s for its lowest, it should be at least somewhat reasonable. So then we have Major Vonreg, and like we were speculating for a while because we saw the card during your system phase, or during the system phase, excuse me, you may choose one enemy ship in your bullseye arc. That ship gains a deplete or strain token of your choice. So that fine-tuned thrusters ability is going to be key for the barrel roll functionality of it, so that way you can dish out those deplete or strain tokens. If you're going to be taking a heavy amount of fire, dish out the deplete token. If you need to kill box somebody, dish out the strain token. Again, it's just depending on the situation. Oh wait, this is before you do your barrel roll, so it's gonna be that's gonna be interesting to actually see how that pans out, because that makes like maneuvering, like planning in a I can't speak all in advance much more reasonable when it comes to much more necessary. That's the word I'm looking for when it comes to getting this thing off. So a little less consistency than I was hoping for. So maybe there's a slightly lower price point, but we'll see what happens. We have Hollow next. At the start of the engagement phase, you must transfer one of your tokens to another friendly ship at range 0 to 2. Ooh. Okay, that's interesting. So I'm going to think here for a little bit about this, and I'm going to come back to you. Okay, so after thinking about it a little bit, there's a couple of options here. One, you can either use it to pass a deplete or strain token to a ship that's out of range of other friendly or enemy attacks. Or two, and this is kind of a bit of a stretch, if Hollow is out of range of attacking or being attacked, then maybe you take an evade token and transfer it to somebody within range so they could use something like Duke or something like that. Again, it's a bit of a long shot, and there's probably more options there, but that's just what I was able to come up with initially thinking for like 10 minutes or something like that. So it seems interesting, but we got to get some more cards that interact with specific tokens. Then this will definitely be really good. So That's interesting. Ember, what do we have here? While you perform an attack, if there's a damaged ship friendly to the deflect. Hold on 1 second, I gotta read this. Okay, so after reading this and rereading this like at least 5 times, here's how this ability works. So when you perform an attack, the defender cannot spend their focus or calculate tokens if there is a damaged ship that is on the same side as the defender. So if there is a damaged enemy ship within range 0 to 1 of the defender, which is also an enemy, then the defender cannot spend focus or calculate tokens. That is easily possibly the worst written ability I have ever read. But then again, how else could they written it? So I'm not going to knock them too much for that. So this is interesting. Now, when I first read this, my thought is if like vulture droid swarms and hyena swarms become prevalent, this will be everywhere since those things take damage so easily, and then it locks down them from doing their calculate shenanigans. But on the other hand, those seem to be dying off from what I understand. I could be completely wrong, and if I am, please call me out for it in the comments. But if those really aren't prevalent, then this really isn't going to see too much play. Now, of course, focus tokens are still going to be everywhere because that's a natural core mechanic of the game. But they're not like a key piece in lists, whereas calculate is like a key component of several separatist swarms. So if those separatist vulture droid hyena swarms remain prevalent, then we are definitely going to see play to kind of act as a hard counter. But if not, then this won't see as much play. But it'll still be a good ship regardless. So that's definitely interesting. Mag Pulse Warheads, we've already seen this before. Suffers a crit, gains a deplete, and a jam token. 2 charge, 1 to 3 in the front arc. Target requires a target lock, yada yada yada. Okay, so then we have this new Derudium Dude, how the hell do you pronounce that? Whatever power cells. 2 charge, takes both a tech and a modification slot. It's a first order only upgrade, so during the system phase, you may spend 1 charge and gain 1 disarm token to recover a shield. Before you would gain 1 non-lock token. If you are not stressed, you may spend it to gain 1 stress token again. Huh? Okay, give me a moment to figure this out. Okay, now I get this. So basically how it works is that you can either spend a charge to gain a disarm token and recover a shield, or you can spend a charge if you gain a like a stress or it does like a strain or a disarm token, and instead you gain a stress token. Technically, it could apply to like focus tokens or evade tokens, but let's face it, why would you want to replace a focus token with a stress token? So basically, this is just an emergency card to be able to quickly switch out of like gaining a strain or a deplete in a unfavorable situation, and instead take stress token where you would need it, or to recover a quick shield if you absolutely need it. So you only get 2 uses out of it, and technically speaking, you could use it both charges in one go by doing the shield recovery effect, gaining the disarm token, and then switching that over to a stress token with the other effect. But we'll see how this card plays out. Now, regen is always a good thing, but after it got severely limited with 2nd edition's arrival, we'll see how this card plays out. Let's see. We also have Proud Tradition, a first order only pilot talent. Equip the side face up dual card. While you have 2 or fewer stress tokens, you may perform focus actions even while stressed. Ooh, interesting. After you perform an attack, if you are stressed, the defender may spend 1 focus token or suffer 1 critical damage to flip this card. Okay, that is interesting to say the least. Now, the ability to perform those focus actions while you're stressed is nice just because it gives you actually some action economy without like forcing you essentially out of red maneuvers if you absolutely need them. But that's the 2nd piece. I am just rereading. Okay, so if the defender retains a focus token or suffers a critical damage, then you flip the card. And what did they say about that? False tradition. Treat your focus actions as Oh, it can't flip back, so you got to be careful how often you use that. Oh, that is that's interesting to say the least. So if you use it too much, your opponent's gonna be like, "Screw you! Your focus actions are red." So that is yeah, that's interesting to say the least. And this is going to definitely be an interesting ship. Like they mentioned, I think when they initially released it, it's going to definitely be punishing for. It's just going to be a very like status heavy ship. It's just going to mess with your opponents in multiple ways. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, and maybe we start to see an uptick in first order ace lists. Like maybe, honestly, I can't think of anything right now, but perhaps one of these pairs well with quick draw or something like that. I don't know, but we'll see how it pans out. So hopefully you enjoyed this quick little insight into what we're getting in this pack, and I'm trying my hardest to get the analysis for the pilots and hotshots and aces out. I've also got to get ready for the points change that is coming tomorrow, the 9th, when I am recording this. And then I've also possibly got to analyze a couple of Transformers events, depending on how the top 8 shakes out at those. So if you see an influx in content, that's why. But I will say this, none of this is going to be live action. I was going to do a battle report for X-Wing, but those plans fell through. So I guess you're just stuck looking at a screen and listening to my crappy voice. So yeah, that's pretty much what's happening. In the future, again, hopefully you enjoyed what you see here today, and I'll see you hopefully in the Hotshots and Aces pilot analysis, but it could possibly be a point change analysis. So that'll do it for this video. Peace out.